The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
Binance US cleared a major hurdle in its effort to acquire the assets of bankrupt crypto lender Voyager Digital. Joining us now to discuss is CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk Must-Read State of Crypto newsletter. Good morning, Nick. Happy Wednesday.
Good morning.
And it was a happy Wednesday, it seems, for Voyager and Binance US. Can you explain what happened exactly?
Yeah, so yesterday on day 4 of a very long hearing to determine whether or not Voyager Digital's assets should be sold to Binance US as part of the company's Chapter 11 bankruptcy restructuring plan, the judge indicated that he's got no problem with it. He walked through the arguments and the objections, explained his reasoning for overruling many of them, and at the end of it just said he wanted to see some changes to the confirmation order, but it's happening. So that's a key step for Binance US. It's one step closer to acquiring Voyager Digital, and it's also a key step for Voyager Digital and its creditors, who are now a little bit closer to recouping potentially up to 73% of the funds that they had on the exchange or on the lending platform prior to its bankruptcy.
Now, do we know if they can, will the SEC, or do we have any sense whether or not the SEC can challenge it if, it goes through? I mean, is there anything they can do after that, or is it just going to be too late?
It sounds like they will have a opportunity to file challenges, and not just the SEC, but also other government and regulatory entities. The U.S. Trustee's Office, for example, had a number of objections as well. The question is, it's going to get a little bit complicated. They're going to have to figure out who exactly they're filing suit against. And, the judge's big thing throughout this hearing was he wanted the SEC to be a lot more specific and a lot clearer about what exactly it was alleging and what evidence it had to make these arguments. Just for example, yesterday he said that the SEC had alleged VGX might be a securities offering, but based on the evidence provided through the 4 days of the hearing, the judge said that if he had to litigate that, he would rule that the transactions were proper and not securities transactions. So, it's big step for the SEC to take. They're gonna have to provide a lot more information before I think they get to that point.
Yeah, I guess the unresolved issue is whether or not VGX token, which is the native token of Voyager Digital, that might be repaid to some of the creditors, I understand. And if so, SEC still thinks that might be an unregistered security. So is that an outstanding issue?
The judge is okay. He's authorized some of the payouts to be in VGX tokens. What the SEC does after that, is anyone's guess. But the judge did make it clear that people who are receiving these tokens as a result of this whole bankruptcy process, he kind of indicated that they shouldn't necessarily be held liable for anything like that. His focus, of course, was on just advancing the bankruptcy to a point where creditors could start seeing some kind of a recovery. So waiting on the SEC is something he said multiple times. It's just something that was out of the picture.
All right. Waiting on the SEC seems to be the mantra of the day. Nick, thanks so much for the update. That was CoinDesk Managing Editor of Global Policy and Regulation, Nick Day.